What's up, guys? ZFarls is back here today with a new version of the MUT podcast. What we're going to do is show you a little bit of the Eagles' offensive playbook. I want to give you guys some gameplay, but I also want to tear down some MUT teams. So if you send me your Madden Ultimate team on Twitter, at Madden Bible, or you can email it to me, zfarls@maddentips.com, I will break down your MUT team, let you know where you can get better, what you should be doing on offense, and how you can mix things up and get a better squad. Now, we're going to start out today by looking at our first team. All right, so the first squad we're going to look at today is James Prather's squad. Now, it doesn't have, all 99s. I got some guys sent me teams with all 99s. Those are no fun to break down, but we'll do those too. We'll start out by looking at, your run offensive squad here. You got Jason Peters at left tackle. I think he can do a little bit better there. He's got very good run blocking, and he's actually a pretty solid player at 82, but, you can move. You can get pretty good depth at left tackle, and then you can kind of move you guys across the line. I like Grubbs. I like the rest of your line. I would definitely try and get a better right tackle with more run blocking. I'd focus less on pass blocking there, and definitely look to update. At halfback, you have Alfred Morris, the next-gen version. I would dump him as my starting back with only 89 speed. Your backup running back is Zach Stacy. If I'm you, I'm looking to pick up Jamal Charles just to have on tap because I'm going to need a faster halfback. I see you have Denard Robinson and Joe Montana. The 97 Kaepernick is one of the best items in the game, top 2 or 3 quarterback in my opinion, behind Vic and Cam. The Jeffrey's really nice. I've been playing against him a few times this week. A big, target on the outside. As long as you're not going up against Richard Sherman, you can use him to hopefully win some possession catches against Deion Sanders. The Harvin with speed is pretty nice. The Doug Baldwin in the slot is good, as long as you're running, slants, zigs, 92 catching traffic, good acceleration. He's going to get open over the middle of the field. Not going to be able to get off the press that well with only 84, but as long as you're not getting pressed, you should be okay with Baldwin if you can hide him in the slot. The Eifert I like as well. Not a bad item. I like where you're at with your coins. I like where you're at with your coin balance. You don't have the greatest running back in the world, but you spent big on Kaepernick. You don't have the greatest tight end in the world, but you have a very solid one that can do a little bit of everything. He's got good height and good catching traffic and decent speed. So you're getting a good blend of a player, and you're not spending more to get a Jimmy Graham, and you're getting a good balance from all your players. As we keep looking here, the Gates is another good one. Maybe pick up a second tight end that's either pure speed or pure beef, one or the other to kind of mix it up. Defensively, when we look at your squad, the front, the Bennett is a very good player. You got 2 big guys at defensive tackle that can shed blocks and, play strong in the run game. Your right end, I'm not going to lie, pretty good actually. Adrian Claiborne, that card, sleeper card. 76 speed, I would move him and Bennett to defensive tackle when I rushed, and then I dropped down Dumerville and probably Trent Cole from the other side when I rushed. So if I was you, it looks like you're playing a 3-4, I would mix it up. I'd move Bennett inside and Claiborne inside, get Darius and Knighton off the field in third downs, move down Dumerville, move down Cole. The Slugs item, it's a solid card. I don't think he has, super good 90-plus hit power. At 80 speed, he can be a bit of a liability. The Maliuga's good at middle linebacker, very solid card, but once again, 86 speed, gets a little tender against certain guys. But the Cole's pretty nice. I'm not sure how well he plays at left outside backer, but that's something that you'd have to let me know. I'm not quite sure, but pretty good a mix there. Once again, you're not building a pure 99 team, so you have done a good job mixing your guys up, but I'd keep that Suggs off the field as much as I could. Defensive secondary, you've done well with speed guys. You've got a Peterson and a Cromartie. The combine Peterson, which is going to give some plus speed. Arrington in the slot is pretty nice. The free safety Des Bryant, 6'2", 91 speed. But if you're user controlling that card, if you're playing as a user with Des Bryant, that's good. But otherwise, I wouldn't. The role I like, where your team's at, the role's good. As long as you're playing a little bit more zone than man with that card specifically. But he doesn't have any hit power, once again, which makes me a bit nervous. So that's what I'd say for your team. I definitely would target a new running back with more speed, and I'd keep Alfred Morris as the backup. or if I was going to run more power style running plays, I would look to get better at linebacker with just a little bit more speed, just to have a guy that if I need a 90 speed linebacker to cover somebody, I can. But you're doing really well at cornerback and you're doing well at quarterback, which are the two places that I look to get the job done. So that's a pretty good team, especially for how many coins you've definitely spent. I think you've gotten some good bang for your buck on your team. All right, next up here is Mr. 45 Revolver. His team is called Red Zone, and just looking at it, he's not going to need much help from me. He's got 99 Adrian Peterson. He's got all 99s across the offensive line pretty much, and, pretty beastly. The Steve Young, in my opinion, is a good card to go Steve Young. 90 speed, 91 deep throw, 93 throw power. So, could you get the Kaepernick or the Newton? That's maybe a little bit better than that item. Yes, but you can do everything you can do with those guys. With Steve Young, left-handed, you can get it done there. I mean, if you just want me to honk your horn, you can just send me your lineup. But you don't need a breakdown. You have the Moss, the Johnson, the Rice, the Ditka. That's insane. Ghost Reggie White, Mean Joe Green, Gerald McCoy. Let's take a look here. A lot of block shed on your defensive line with the Deacon Jones. You don't really have a true speed rusher, but you can definitely move down Derek Thomas, and I like that Derek Brooks a lot. I mean, you have pretty much the perfect team. Pro Bowl Dion, 2 Dion. See, I don't like the dupes, but that's fine. I'd say maybe look for the 99 Sherman. That Ronnie Lott is fierce. We talked about him. Charles Woodson we like a lot. I'd maybe get one tall corner, so I would trade in one Dion for the 99 Sherman. Just as the only way to really complete your team, because if you do face a Moss and a Jeffrey, then you're going to have trouble matching up size-wise on the outside. But other than that, I don't see any issues with your team. I think you probably have one of the better teams I've seen, and if this is really your squad, good for you. All right, this is Billy H's team. We're looking at 94 Eddie Lacy as the starting back. Only back, you have the Marshall Falk behind him, so if you're running more power style runs, I like the Lacy in that situation. That Lacy's pretty legit with 92 speed, 94 truck. That's a good item. And I like the Falk as kind of your third down back, swing up some passes, screen passes, toss style runs, mixing it up like that. Your offensive line's solid across the board. I don't really see much need to spend any more coins to get you're going to get 1 or 2 points better, not really. So there's no point in spending any more coins on your line, in my opinion. Looking at the pass offense, you have the 99 team, Cam Newton, and you also have a couple different versions of Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. The Jerry Rice, you have 99 catching traffic, 95 speed, 6'2". That card has grown on me a lot. I hear it's very consistent. I haven't used it, but I'm a big fan. I didn't really like any of the early Jerry Rice versions, but I think that Pro Bowl card does Jerry Rice justice. The fantasy Calvin, I have 91 catching traffic, 94 speed. I don't love it. I think it's good. I would say if you can get the Moss, he's that much better. I wouldn't spend many more coins to go. As far as the upgrade from Calvin to another receiver, Moss would be the only guy that I would sell, or I would go with, that would be worth the coin difference, in my opinion. To upgrade to anybody else from the Calvin, whatever. Who cares? You're really not getting that much better for the coin. Like, I wouldn't go to Irvin from the Calvin, but I would go to the Moss, and that would be something I would target. In the slot, Jordy Nelson, 93 speed, 94 catching traffic. I like the catching traffic. I like the size in the slot. We showed a guy with Doug Baldwin earlier. He doesn't really do it for me in the slot. I don't really like quick, short route runners, Wes Welker, Devon Best style. I like bigger slot players that can hang on to the ball. That's why I play with a lot of tight ends in my lineup. Shannon Sharp, 6'2", once again. So you have the height in the slot, so you don't really need it at tight end. But I would say that Shannon Sharp definitely has good speed, and I like it better than the Vernon Davis because it has better catching traffic. But 6'2", you could run into a little bit of trouble. But depending on what types of routes you're throwing, if you're throwing more corner routes, then you want the Shannon Sharp. But if you're throwing more into traffic, then you have Gronk or Graham available at that situation. The Cam Newton, top 2 or 3 cards in the game, and definitely something you want to spend big coins on because he gets the ball every snap. On defense, Reggie White at left end, hopefully only in your run stuff in situations, even though he has 94 power move and 94 block shed. I like that Jarrell Casey. I've seen a lot of people with him. I used the elite version for a long time. That Sap's pretty nice for stopping the run, and that Quinn I would play all the time. I would absolutely play Robert Quinn all the time. I'd take Reggie White out in passing downs. I would move Von Miller down. I like the Bowman. I think that one has 95 hit power from what I saw yesterday. I would let LT patrol the middle so I would get Derek Johnson out of the game in nickel situations. That's a great card, but he would lose out. I would play Bowman and Taylor together. I'd move Von Miller down, and I'd keep Quinn in the game. And you'd have a pretty good. I'd actually probably move Reggie White to Warren Sapp's spot in 3 down, 4 down spots. But definitely a legitimate linebacking core right there. A real strength on your team. That Charles Woodson, once again, top 5 corner in the game. 97 Sherman's good in the slot. I would probably switch the Sherman in the Woodson. I would probably play Sherman on the outside, and I'd keep an eye out for speed. If I saw Deshaun Jackson, I would move Peterson there. I'd play Peterson on one side. I'd play Sherman on the other. I'd play Woodson in the slot, blitz him a little bit. Maybe from dime flat, we have a zone blitz play I can link to. That's a good play. I'd send Sherman on that. Just keep an eye out. Sherman can get beat, but only by a few select guys, Percy Harb, and I just put Peterson there if not. That 97 free safety Earl is very nice in the Dawkins. I have also a good card. Drops a little bit of interceptions, but I think you're going to like overall the hit power that you get. Hasn't forced too many fumbles for me, but I know it's there, and I know he's a solid tackler. So I like that Earl Thomas, and I don't really see need for many upgrades in your secondary, but I would just move the Sherman and the Woodson. Overall, though, I like your team. I think definitely halfback and tight end would be the next positions I might target, depending on how you use your players. And then just looking to get a little bit more depth on the defensive line, getting more of a pure pass rusher. But as long as you're managing your guys well, you have a really good squad. And if you play a lot of quarters, maybe grab one more speedy corner. Get one more just pure speed corner like a Dion. So, all right, another breakdown here. We have Automaniacs, which is Airwolf's team. Airwolf, congratulations. He's going to be going out to EA to actually work on Ultimate Team. So, big shout-out to him this week. He's done a lot of good work for the community, and it's good to see him paying off for him. So, his team, once again, is just kind of a honk my horn because he's got 99 Barry, 99 offensive linemen. I'd probably get rid of Evan Mathis, though, and get a better run blocker, and definitely get a better card than Evan Mathis. Not even kidding. I know he's going to keep Joe Thomas because he's a Browns fan, but I'd consider if I like to run left, I wouldn't run left much with your lineup. I would definitely run right with your lineup, and that was what I would do as your one weakness. Looks like you got the Fridge in the backfield. The Cunningham's really good. I know you're waiting for a new Otto Graham, but that Cunningham's probably a top 5 card in my opinion. 92 speed, 90 deep throw, 97 throw power. I mean, that card's silly. That card, I used to think it was maybe top, like number 5. Now I'm thinking it's even higher. I mean, that's just a great balance. Throw power to me is super important. You have, the 3 best receivers. That Super Bowl Irvin is the Irvin that would be for me. Maybe get a Jerry Rice as your backup unless you already have one. You got the Josh Gordon, which is pretty legitimate. I would say your team's done. We're not going to waste time breaking it down. Derek Brooks, Ray Lewis, Derek Thomas, Ghost, Wilkerson in the pass in the rush game. Plenty of beef on the D line. DeMarcus Ware, good enough to party at right end. You could move those 2 guys into D end. I'd probably get one more D end if I was you, just because you want 2 more pure pass rushers to move into D tackle. But that's the biggest thing about MUT is moving guys off the D line later in passing situations. And the Brooks isn't a pass rusher. I'd move the Thomas down to D end, but pretty good items. I'd say as long as I'd get an LT just to have, unless you do already, just because he's a better pass rusher. But I love the Thomas dropping in coverage and mixing it up. Secondaries, pretty much flat out perfect. And thanks for wasting my time, Airwolf. Just kidding. No, great team. I like that you run the Pistol Low book. It's a great team. And maybe next time if you use this team against me, you can hang within 50. Just kidding. All right, about to check out Darth Hellspawn's team. He's got, once again, pure offensive line. I would probably get rid of the Fisher at right tackle and look for better run block strength. Other than that, pretty good. Center, I would probably look for better pass block strength. I have that Grubb, so I can't complain. I think that Grubb is worth it, and the Thomas is pretty good. So center and right tackle, you can get better. Darth, still very solid, but you can improve. On offense, that Pro Bowl Rice, once again, legitimate. That Gordon, I really like. I'd probably I'd hang on to that Gordon for the rest of my career. I like it a lot. 96 catch in traffic, 96 speed. It's a great item, 6'3". That Thomas I've seen. He's a little bit like the Gordon card. Pretty similar statistics to the Gordon. Maybe there's some overlap there. Maybe you could get. Maybe you need a 6'5". Looks like you have Tony Gonzalez, but he only has 82 speed. Maybe you get a Megatron. Just a real tall guy to have it, depending on what type of routes you like. Or maybe you get a shorter guy with even better speed, maybe a 98 speed. Get a Deshaun Jackson in there. Let's see who else you have at your thing. So you have a T.Y. Hilton that's got 97, and you have a Welker already. So if I was you, I'd get one other really tall guy. You have Greg Olsen, Tony Gonzalez. I'd play the Olsen over the Gonzalez. I don't love the Gonzalez, and I'd probably look for one, either the Sharp or the Julius Thomas or the Vernon Davis, even though he has bad catch in traffic, but to run like outside routes at tight end. But overall, a good front. J.J. Swat, I've heard that's like the best item in the game. I want that, so you're good there. The McCoy's nice, we talked about. I use the Fridge personally. And that Quinn, if you're out there, is a really good card. Definitely, I'd say a little bit better than the Cameron Wake that I have. I'd like to actually switch my Quinn for my Wake. Patty Cake Willis, the pretty good version of Patty Cake Willis. Not the best one, but I like it. The Derek Johnson's nice. I'm not sure what his hit power is, but I believe it's in the 90s, so you should be all set. With LT and Vaughn, I'd move Watt inside once again, passing, drop Vaughn down, keep Quinn, get the Fridge out of the game, and you're looking pretty good in those situations. Nice team. Let's look at the secondary. You got Jonathan Joseph, which is an item that I don't see a lot of people with, at 5'11", 96 speed. That's a great card. I mean, that's a really good card. He's going to make all the plays that you need. Height's probably the only thing you're missing, but then you have Cromartie, who's 6'2", in the slot in case they try and pull any funny stuff. You want a different route here with your secondary. You got the good lot, though. That McCourty, I like. He's got 95 speed, 93-man coverage at free safety. It's out of control, but doesn't have any pop in his bat. So if you feel like you're missing some hit power, I'd consider getting rid of the McCourty. Or just in run situations, if you could pick up a cheap, looks like you have a Dante Whitner. So you could drop down Whitner in the run game to play free safety and just try not to get beat. Everyone's got this Justin Tucker. I don't understand why. Just get the 97 kick power Greg Zuerlein. Stop. I don't know what people are doing. Or get the Prater. Prater or bust. That's what the back of my car says. I got a bumper sticker that says Matt Prater Fantasy 99 kick power or bust. Or I have the 97 kick power Zuerlein, if you want to do it for cheap. I like your Charles. He's a good overall speed back. Walter Payton for some run beef. And then this Mark Ingram I've now seen a couple times. 95 truck, 89 speed. He should never play. I mean, he should just never touch the field. But overall, I really like your lineup. The Elway is legit. 85 speed. I think he's, I'd rather have the Randall. I'd rather have the Cam, the Cap, the Vic. But for 85 speed, I mean, as long as you're not getting too crazy with him, 79 agility, I just feel like that's going to hurt you a little bit. He's certainly going to get the job done for you, but I think in the future, you can definitely get a little bit better there. But if you just like playing with John Elway, just do what he can do and suffer with a top 8 quarterback in the game. Suffer with 8th best, 7th best MUT quarterback. So you got a good squad. All right, right here we're looking at Jet Main's team, and he has the Marshall Falk, the 97 version, which only has 93 speed, but I believe it has some of the best catch in the game. 97 elusive, so that's a good item if you are, quick passing, a lot of passes to the fullback, and with Harris, a lot of passes to the flat, to the Falk, a lot of screen passes, tosses, buck sweep, different things like that. No power. Only 93 speed. You'd like to see a little bit more juice there, but not bad. Now this 96 luck is pretty nice. 89 speed, so he's 4 points better than Elway. A little more throw power than Elway, and then 87 deep. So that luck is a nice item. 89 agility is pretty good. I feel like that's almost too beefed up for luck. I know he did run about 82 speed his rookie year, but that's a fast version of that luck, and I'd say he's probably better than that Elway. Brandon Marshall on the outside, 6'4", 89 speed, but if you're throwing certain types of routes, you can get it done. 96 speed at Percy, so you got him on the other side. Pretty nice to Edelman, 92 catching traffic. He's going to hang on to the ball for you. Looks like I like your team here. You're not going with the straight-up best team. And let's see who else you have at the depth chart. You have the Jordy, which we complimented earlier. We like that card a lot, and the Roddy White. So as long as you're playing possession style with Marshall, looking to hit Percy, maybe put Percy in the slot, Jordy on the outside, and then Edelman in the slot as well, depending on what type of sets you like to run. You should be doing well for yourself. The Jordan Cameron 93 at tight end. That's a good item. That's got good speed, good catching traffic, good size. You got a good blend of everything for a guy who's not going for the pure best team. Great blend. The Thomas has a backup, very nice. Similar style to the Cameron, so you're not going to, if somebody gets hurt, you're not going to have to change up your game plan. That Falk, I'd get him get him more of a pure speed backup if you're going to continue to, mix in those style of runs that we talked about earlier, or just get a pure power guy as your backup. Good offensive line, it appears, all the way around. Maybe work on your run blocking at left tackle. Your left guard and left tackle, boost up your run block strength. Get it above 93. Same thing at center. Get your run blocking strength up above 93. And right tackle, get your run blocking strength up. So you have a lot of room to go if you like to run the ball. Maybe you're all passing. So you actually have a really good Alex Boone. So here's what's weird about your O-line. Your left guard has to go. Your left guard's got to go. New left guard today. New center today. So Boone is actually a really good run blocker. He's like your only real good run blocker, but he's not a great pass blocker. And then Franklin is a really good pass blocker, but decent run blocker. Franklin is the least of your worries right now. And same thing with left tackle. Your tackles are good. Your interior has got to get better at run blocking. You need new players. All right, defensive front. I have that Cam Wake. I like it. I don't love it. Finesse moves for me, not getting me in. Same thing with Michael Johnson. I like it. 6'7", can't complain. Both guys high 80s at D end. That's silly, but they don't. I don't really play him because in the run game I play Justin Smith. He's has better block shed, better strength. Those guys are missing a little bit of that. 79, 77 strength is going to get you dominated in the run game. And then in the pass game, I don't love finesse moves when I move them inside. I still like power moves inside. So I think you can improve there. I'm trying to think of a few guys to recommend for you. We definitely have shown a few in the last couple teardowns. John Randall on the inside, got to go. 83 block shed and only 88 strength to D tackles is not going to get it done for you. And same thing with The Darius is a better example of a player who's way better than Randall at defensive tackle. So I'd probably go 3-4 if I was you. The David linebacker has good speed, good block shed. Not sure about his hit power. I like that Bowman, 86 speed. There is a faster version, but for right now, that's pretty good. Sean Lee, I don't know, once again, what he has for pop in his bat, but at 92 block shed, he's quite a good player at stopping the run. Once again, 85 speed, you're going to be a little bit of a liability in coverage, and I would try and upgrade that Greenway, maybe get a Von Miller or an LT and play him on the left with only 82 speed and 88 block shed. I'd get rid of that Greenway. In the defensive secondary, you have that Chancellor is money, so that's probably your best card. Bethea, I like his speed. Not sure what he has for pop, but you could always get a night train and play him back there. That's what I do. Prince in the slot's pretty good, 6 foot, 93 speed. Flowers, I'd dump right away because he's not tall for his lack of speed. Like Jennings, you're at least getting some better speed, even though he's short. I would try and pick up a taller corner at my number 2 because you already have speed in low height at number 1. I wouldn't want to overlap those guys twice. You can definitely play a lot of 2-man under with your team, which is good. But I would definitely look for some better speed at your second position. Like I would get Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie if there's a good version of him. So that's what I would do. I like your team. I like that you're building. You're still working hard. Jetman, and let me know if you have any other questions. All right, GTBMX, this is his team. It's an all-Steelers team. One of the cooler teams I've seen for sure. He is limited with the players he can have, but the Steelers, obviously, rich history, a lot of legends, so he's able to fill in nicely, especially in the interior part of the line. Pretty good run blocking up in there, so I would feel free to run pretty much anywhere across your line. You're coming up with 90 strength, so you're looking pretty good in both run and pass blocking. That Jerome Bettis, 97 truck, 87 speed. Let's see. They have Le'Veon Bell, 92 speed, the fantasy version. So you have a pretty good squad mixing it up. You don't have a true, passing style back, but that Bell's pretty nice with 92 speed. Can't complain when you're going for an all-Steelers squad. Nate Washington, 96 speed, 6'1". That's a really good card, that Nate Washington. I haven't seen that card at all, really. 74 release, so you might have to work a little bit to get him off the press. Maybe you're calling routes like Z-Spot from Gun Bunch, where he's going to get free release. Maybe you're calling comeback routes and different routes. That's how I'd work Washington. That's his only real weakness, but overall, really good card. Wallace, once again, pure burner, so 85 catching traffic, but if you're sending him deep a couple times a game, you're looking pretty nice. And then Brown to work the slot with the better catching traffic. Heath Barr, 73 at tight end. So really low speed at tight end, but he's going to hang on to the ball. And once again, it looks like your options are pretty limited there with Franco Harris as your backup. So, that's how I'd play you. I know you're not going to really truly beat me with corners and things because of Miller's release and his speed and his route running. But 88 catching traffic, 6'5". You can throw plenty of routes over the middle with that and throw it high and, drop it down. And Heath will hang on. Big Ben is your quarterback, the 95 version. 95 throw power, 82 deep. Not a bad card. Not really a good card by any means. 75 speed's just not good. Not that he's fast in real life anyway, but 82 deep's going to hurt you, though. I mean, that's a bummer. You do have some good throw power, but not much you can do with that Ben. But that Ben don't break. That Ben don't break into my lineup, as they say. Nobody says that. All right, here we go. Defensively, Mean Joe is nice. Looks like you are missing the 99 Mean Joe, but you have the 97 version. And the Jack Ham, that's a nice card with, you said plus 10 speed, so he's got 84 speed. I had the 74, it was just too slow, but that card can hang for a little bit. I'm sure he's got good hit power, so I like it. The Timmons at 86 is good. The Woodley, I try and keep him off the field a little bit. I know you said you're hoping to get a Harrison. That's a little bit better. Kiesel, if I'm you, I'm playing 3-4. I'm definitely playing 3-4. Werlitz is coming up the linebacker, and I'm playing Hampton, Joe Green and Kiesel on the line to stop the run. I'm trying to shoot, probably trying to shoot Timmons through as the blitzer, and I'm looking for Harrison and Ham to hold the edges, even though they're a little bit lower on speed, and Worlid's in coverage. That's what I'm going with if I'm you. Secondary, all right. Yeah, pretty solid across the board. All guys, low 90s speed, decent man coverage, decent zone. You're going to be able to mix it up pretty nicely. You got the 99 Polamalu kind of anchoring the backfield. And you said you're missing the 97 Rod Woodson, so that's a guy you could get and play. I would probably play the 97 Rod Woodson at free safety, unless I need a little bit more height on the outside. But you could put Allen in that situation. So not bad, not a bad team. Especially, I like that you're doing the all Steelers lineup. That's really cool. If anybody else has any all-time teams, send them over. But there's not much you can do in those situations. But I do like that it's a creative style team and you're running the pistol offensive playbook. So I would probably not run the pistol offensive playbook. But, it does have the best run in the game. Pistol Ace, strong power. But other than that, with Big Ben, you're gonna be struggling with that to really maximize by running that playbook. So I wouldn't. But I like your team. All right. Looking at Mikey's squad here. Nate Solder. We have, once again, a left guard that just has to go. Cannot play on my personal team. Center. Center's got to go as well. And you're pretty good elsewhere. So center and your left guard, your interior line, I would look to improve pretty quickly. The Dickerson's a good power back. Like him a lot. Like what he brings to the table. Use that right stick forward a lot to go for the crush. The Team MVP Cruz is a card I haven't seen much of. You get the bad Jerry Rice, still a very good card. You're going to need to get a true burner, though, in your lineup. Get somebody that just has wheels. Get somebody that, that Thomas is almost there, but it's not quite there. The Montana, I feel like 77 speed and only 85 throw power for a 99 quarterback is just not good. It's just not good. Yes, you have 95 deep, but, it's just not for me. That card is not for me. I would trade it. I would look to get a better item. I feel like there's better items out there. He's not in my top 10 for quarterbacks. I would try and trade for the Cunningham. I would try and trade for I'd take the Elway over that. Cap, Cam, Russell Wilson, I think I would play over that card. There's a pretty good Russell Wilson version that's probably better than that card. So Cool Joe, you are cool, but you're not cool on my MUT team. No offense. Corey Redding, pretty good left end in a 3-4, but not a good end in a 4-3. Same thing with Cameron Jordan. He's much better than Redding, so if I was playing 3-4, I'd play Jordan over Redding, and then Redding would ride the pine. Even if I was going to play 4-3, I might move Ahmad Brooks down to play end, just because he has good block shed and good strength for a backer, so he can hang in the run game. And then you're getting more speed if you want to drop him. You're getting 8 more speed points. Smith from the Ravens at middle linebacker. He's good, only 82 speed, though. Gonna hurt your bottom line. Gonna hurt your bottom line if that's your main guy in your lineup. Like to see you get a little bit faster at the defensive linebacker position, because you have really good run stuffers. You're definitely built to stop the run up front, and that can be trouble for some people, but in passing situations, you got to get some of these guys off the field, because they're not going to be able to get after the pass. They're not going to be able to cover tight ends, not going to be able to cover slot guys if they have to drop out. Like the Hali I really like, but I only want one of those stat guys. Brooks and Hali kind of cover the same gap. Smith and Ryan's a little bit similar. Look to get a Willis, look to get a Bowman, look to get there's the Derek Johnson card from the Chiefs. That's pretty good. Those are going to be some faster options at middle linebacker to get Smith off the field. But overall, definitely a solid lineup. Dion in the secondary, I like that. 97 speed. Vontae Davis at 5'11", 95 speed is a very good card, 96 man. So I hope you play a lot of 2-man under. And the Grimes, same thing. Got plenty of speed and man. I play a lot of man coverage if I was you. And then, Cam Chancellor in the secondary is a nice card with that hit power. The Demps has good speed, pretty good man coverage and zone. A good overall card, but I'd maybe, once again, look at like a Night Train and move him to free safety. Look at Rod Woodson, move him to free safety, because then you're going to get much better man coverage out of those guys if you choose to blitz from man look. And you're going to get a little more height and probably some more hit power. I'm not sure what Demps has, but I think you can do a little bit better. If you were going for pure all-out man coverage, you don't really care about the hit power, then go to McCourty. But that's what I would do if I was your team. I like your squad. You've gotten some really good value out of it. Once again, get Greg Zuerlein or get Matt Prater. Who cares about Justin Tucker? Good stuff, though. Good stuff. All right, this is Matt Hayes' team on Twitter. Baseball Hay, and great left tackle. Good left guard. Like to see a little more pass block strength out of Staley, but definitely going to be a good guy the perfect guy to have pull, because he has good impact block and he has good run block strength. So if you're running left, you're going to be all set. Same thing on the interior. Great lineman there with Mack. You have the other Staley on the inside, and perfect on the right tackle. So you have really good run blocking, pretty good pass blocking, maybe a little bit weak at guard if you're facing a Watt or something, but that's okay for right now. Just know that. The Thurman Thomas Ghost is actually a legitimate item. 96 speed, 93 truck, 94 carry. That's going to get the job done. A lot of people don't use Thurman Thomas. They tend to see more Walter Payton or, more Dickerson, but that Thomas can carry an offense for you. Don't worry about that. Kurt Warner, I would dump in a heartbeat, 55 speed. He's not a highway. 55 speed's inappropriate for a quarterback. You just got to get, even if you just get a second guy, if you like him because he has 90 throw power, 93 deep, that's cool. But even 90 throw powers is not that great. We've seen guys with better throw power than that already. So I'd try and move the Warner and just, it's a personal preference. It's how I play the game, but I'd like to see a faster guy there to really put some extra stress on defenses. And, you're not getting, it's not like you can't get 90 throw power elsewhere. That's my opinion. I like the Jerry Rice that you have. He's solid, but maybe you got to get a I'd get rid of the Rice and get a pure burner. You have Calvin Johnson, who's tall, good speed, good catching traffic. You have that Jeffrey, which is a nice card. You can put him on the outside and throw him some tall guy routes. He's caught over me before. But the Rice is kind of stuck in the middle of those two guys. So maybe get just a pure speed guy to have in the slot or on the outside. Deshaun Jackson, Percy Harvin. That Rice is pretty coveted, but I think there's not only is there a better version of that card, but you're going to want somebody with some more speed in case you run into somebody. That Jimmy Graham's perfect, one of the better tight ends in the game with 85 speed. Defensively, the Lugat's pretty good, legit. Deacon Jones is going to hang in with 97 power move. He's going to play every down on the rush basis for me. The Hainsworth's probably never going to come off the field for me either with great block shed. I like the Knighton, but him and Lugat are two guys that would come off the field for me. I would keep Willis on every down basis, move LT down to end to rush, dump Wagner, and keep Kuechly in the game. Now, I love that Wagner. He's got great hit power, but that Kuechly's solid. I think he's going to play above his rating. 88 speed, and he's just a solid dude. He plays a little bit better. I personally don't like the Kuechly, but Gibbs has tested it out and says it's really good. So my initial Madden inclination would say play Wagner, dump Kuechly when you go up to passing situations, but try that Kuechly out. User him, see how he plays, and if he can get a few hit sticks for you, that's good for you. But the Wagner lays wood, though. So that's something you got to test out. But once you drop Taylor down, always keep Willis in, and then make that decision between the Wagner and the Kuechly based off probably hit sticks. But I feel like Kuechly's going to play a little bit better in coverage. In your secondary, you get the DRC 6'2", 97 speed. That's a great item to have on the outside. Can kind of do it all for you. Probably not going to get beat deep. Probably not going to get beat by height. Devontae Davis, we talked about him. He's a good card. 5'11", 95 speed. And then that Casey Hayward's a legitimate card. I have him. I put him in. He makes good plays. Can't complain about it. He hangs tough. McCourty, once again, great player, but you're lacking hit power at your safety positions. So you have good speed, you have good coverage, but you're missing out on free hit sticks. So once again, I'd maybe go to the Chancellor for strong safety, or maybe go with Goldson in the run game. Just maybe some guys in the run game, and you can keep these guys into pass. But you're missing out on maybe a free fumble every game or two, because that hit power can really separate the men from the boys in that statistic. So I like your free safeties for coverage, or your safeties for coverage, but once again, I think you're missing out on some pop in your bat in those situations. Let's see. Last but not least, you have the 97 kick power Prater, which is good. And overall, your team's solid.
All right, boys, that is it for the MUT podcast this week. However, send me your MUT team at Madden Bible on Twitter with your MUT head link and a little bit about your squad, what you like to run. Don't forget to subscribe. And, of course, until next episode, don't forget to lock up.